Hey, good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic, feels like the first spring of the year, Wednesday anyway. My name is Jade Alberts, and I'm a business strategist that focuses on rejuvenizing and re-energizing your business. I love helping small to medium-sized businesses grow and enjoy a work-life balance. Today, the Telling It Like It Is topic is Canada Post direct mail. And Barbara Davis from Canada Post, who's based out of Calgary, is joining me today. Barbara, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. We have a gorgeous day here in Calgary. Who could complain?
Oh, nobody. I guess this is, to get it out of the way, unfortunately, Barbara can't be joining us because Canada Post restrictions on the Be Live. We weren't able to access the network. So, unfortunately, you have to only look at me today, which I hope you don't tune out. So, Barbara, how long have you been with Canada Post?
I joined Canada Post just over 3 years ago into the mid-market team. So I work with a large number of Calgary clients and cover a territory right up to Red Deer, and including most of the rurals.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Excellent. So you travel a fair amount then, or do you?
Most of what I'm taking care of is mainly in Calgary. I look after the downtown core, the Beltline areas.
Okay.
I work with businesses that run a wide, broad gamut of from very small mid-market clients up to much larger ones that are probably well entrenched in shipping and marketing at a higher level. So some of the national customers that are based out of Calgary fall under my portfolio.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll give a brief introduction of you, Barb, here, and then we'll get right into the question. So, Barbara has over 25 experience as an account executive and business consultant, communications, technical sales, and now Canada Post. She currently helps companies in the SME market achieve growth. She enhances the effectiveness of your omni-channel marketing strategy through smart mail marketing, which closes the gap between the digital and physical. She delivers powerful solutions for your offline world through the most robust in-demand delivery network in Canada. So I guess kind of rolling right into that first question, I have a lot of clients ask me about, the Canada Post and direct mail. They kind of have a misconception. Can you please, fill us in a little bit and tell us what it consists of?
I sure can. And just one point of clarification. You mentioned offline world. It's actually the online world. That's the e-commerce space. Just wanted to clarify that. So basically, direct mail, as it's traditionally referred to, Canada Post basically made some changes a couple of years ago in our approach to market with what we now call smart mail marketing. So essentially what's interesting in the world today, and it is happening globally, is with the shift to a heavy emphasis on digital marketing and advertising, what has been uncovered through various studies is that human beings are still physical. They where direct mail and smart mail marketing fits in is it really helps to inspire action out of your marketing campaign. So if you are looking at developing brand awareness or trying to get your name out or promoting your website, promoting your store, your brick and mortar location, the place where Canada Post fits in is that mail piece that is delivered to the individual in their homes, and they tend to hang on to it, retain it, and it inspires them to act. So the three smart mail marketing solutions that Canada Post has are what we call neighborhood mail, which is unaddressed and often referred to as flyers. But it's an unaddressed piece. So that is how you reach many people if you're trying to really get your name out or get a broad reach going. You can reach up to 500 addresses for one postal walk, letter carrier route. The second option is called postal code targeting. That is a much more focused and targeted and more comprehensive mail piece that is addressed, and you're really looking at leveraging data and knowledge to zero in on those acquisition customers.
Okay.
And that one you can get as tight as 20 addresses on a postal code. The third one is basically one-to-one mail. That's where you are looking at perhaps a loyalty piece for customers you already have, and you're trying to target them either with a card or a letter or just some kind of piece to bring them back or inspire them to buy more, or any kind of loyalty play that you want to make. So that's a one-to-one, and that's called personalized mail.
Well, that's interesting. Those last two are very unique. I guess when it comes to that, you mentioned the data analytics with the kind of doing the business to business type about mail outs. Is that easily tractable? Is it easy to achieve?
Well, there are different tools for each of those products, but just to start that out, within Canada Post, the one thing people are less aware of is that over the last 3 to 4 years, with the growth of the e-commerce space and online shopping, Canada Post has ended up shifting from a letter mail company to a parcel delivery company. Canada Post delivers close to 70% of the business-to-consumer packages that are delivered across the country on any given day.
Oh, wow.
So we sit on a repository of data and knowledge on what's going on in the marketplace, who the hyper shoppers are, who's shopping online, where are they coming from. There is an immense amount of data that Canada Post has from our own delivery network. Secondly, we also link in with census data and Veronix. So there are a number of things that our data advisory team can work with a client on as they grow to really start helping them find like-minded clients. And that's kind of where that leads to.
Oh, it's there's nothing more important than being able to reach the client directly, via mail and e-commerce as well. If you're able to tie all that data together, as we were talking before, I said, data is priceless, knowledge is priceless, and that to leverage Canada Post knowledge on that could really help your business. I guess. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Barbara.
Nope, that's all right.
Oh, I was going to say, it might be difficult to give a cost, but could you share some examples that you've had with clients? Maybe not, ROI side type examples.
That is a tricky one because it does depend so much on what a client is trying to achieve. What are you trying to achieve as a business, and where are you at? Are you a startup? Are you someone who's already got a customer base and you're trying to do something new? Is it about branding? Is it about something else? The thing to keep in mind is that the direct mail piece or a smart mail marketing piece is only one part of an overall omni-channel campaign.
Okay.
So it should be, in order to measure success, it should be part of what has been planned out as an integral campaign. And it doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to be someone who's got a marketing team behind you and so on. That's where Canada Post can try to help and guide if you are in a position where you don't have that level of support. But even as a startup, even if you're looking at just at a neighborhood mail campaign to announce the opening of your store or, announce a new product launch or trying to do that, it can be as simple as, honestly, the corner pizza guy who every month is distributing his menu or flyers around the neighborhood. Or it can be the opening of a salon and that individual, he or she is looking at getting awareness out in the neighborhood. That can be the initial start of leveraging direct mail as part of what you might be doing on Facebook or anywhere else. But there are some key factors to consider, and I'll quickly touch on these.
Oh, for sure.
Measure what's important. That's number one. You have to understand what it is you're trying to measure, because a direct mail piece in and of itself can't deliver that to you. But working with you in advance is the big thing. Measure what's important. Be consistent in tracking metrics. So track over multiple tests or assuming common objectives. Measure across channels. Look at all the channels that you're using, your digital and your physical. Make sure you understand what it is you're trying to measure. How do you deem success?
Yeah.
Track response over time. Some channels could take up to 60 days. If some of it can be a quick turnaround. Like, for example, I shop at Nordstrom now and then, not all the time, but I love to shop there when there are sales. They have my name. I'm an existing client. They tend to send me an email a week ahead of a sale, and then a week after that, I get the card in the mail inviting me to the sale. It's the card that inspires me to remember to go in, because that'll sit on my island and I'll action it, right?
Yeah.
So, the email gets lost in translation, because I'll see it, it'll register, but then I'm busy. We're all busy, right? So it's a good heads up, but it will, it's that card that comes in the mail. I've got a colleague who buys from, groceries now and then from spud.ca. And when Spud hadn't heard from her in a year, they sent her a postcard just saying 10% off your next purchase. Well, of course, she jokingly said, I spent $100, So it's things like that, understanding your market and what you're trying to achieve and measure it from there. So that's an example of loyalty. The other thing, again, tracking response over time, it can never be a one and done, whether it's your digital marketing space or the combination of digital and physical. You have to remember that the marketing never ends. It's constant, and you have to constantly track and manage the data that you collect. Customer lifetime value. Some channels may bring higher quality response over time. Yes. So you may have a business model where you really do have to track over the long term. That really applies to nonprofits, the nonprofit and NGO sector. They are looking for lifetime, value out of the people that come to them. So the people that contribute, the donor base. Profile your respondents, keep track of who's coming back to you. Every phone call, every touch point. If they send you an email, if there's a way to track it on your digital space or on your website, even if you're sending out flyers and you're a smaller business, assign a special code to that. Work with your printer, because Canada Post has over 250 print partners across the country who can help design and manage the mail for you. And make sure that is exactly what's going on in your digital space too.
Oh, you brought up a ton of points.
I know it's a lot of information.
No, not it. I mean, it's something that I stress with my clients, and when we build out a marketing calendar, it is important to have. As you said, a one and done is not the way to do a marketing, or saying, oh my goodness, I need to do a Facebook ad, or now I should do buy an ad on Facebook. That you just can't do that. You have to have a plan. You have to track the analytics. You have to know where your product is going. And more importantly, all the other analytics are nice with the likes and the shares and the comments, but in the end, it's the bottom line that people need to grow their business. So if it's not improving the bottom line, you might have to pivot your strategy and try something different.
And it is always challenging to provide stats on ROI.
Yeah.
The other factor is it really depends on the objective, the format and creative. The content is huge.
Absolutely.
What is the content? What are you putting out there? And is it clear? Always having other eyes take a look at that. Huge thing. And if you're working with a good print partner, they should be able to help with that, or an agency. That being said, customers can expect with neighborhood mail, the unaddressed distribution, about a 1 to 2% response rate, and personalized mail 1 to 1, the loyalty piece 3 to 4. And yet that can go much higher. Yeah. It just depends on what the ask is.
Yeah. Oh, and I was on a Twitter chat yesterday, and it was about content and creating content. And honestly, I spray this out to so many people on so many avenues that content is king. And it has to be, original, authentic content that relates to your business. Because if you're not controlling the content that's going out there, Google is, or somebody else is controlling the avenue that people are viewing you. And that cannot happen.
And if you're looking, for example, if you are a retail store or you're trying to drive traffic to your location, there are lots of tricks. If you're working with us or with one of the expert partners that we work with, there are tricks that can be used. Yeah. I mean, even something as simple as you have a card delivered in the mail, you've got a clear call to action, you're asking people to bring that in to a location, put a barcode on it. It can be a fake barcode. People see a barcode and they think, wow, I better hang on to this. There are lots of tips and tricks that way, and there's nothing deceptive about it. It's just you want them to bring that piece in so that you can track it. And I cannot emphasize enough the power of a postal code. Anyone doing anything in the marketing world nowadays, people are much more willing to share a postal code with you than they are a phone number or an email address. So if you can ask your clients, ask people who call in, what is your postal code? And they will more often than not provide it. That should be recorded and keep track of it, because with that data you can find out where your customers are coming from, keeping in mind that a postal code is only 20 addresses. So that really narrows down how much information you have. And with that powerful information, you can get more information through Environics, through us. And so keep that in mind. The other thing too,
go ahead.
Is one more thing, track responses with a unique campaign identifier, whether it's a 1-800 number, a web URL, a specific landing page, a coupon, a promo code, capturing a postal code at point of sale. And, make sure you're doing something to help you track that information. There are some things we'll be able to feed back to you as the campaign progresses, but really, ultimately, make it as simple as possible to keep track of that response.
No, absolutely. I know I use unique webmail, email addresses to track campaigns, which is one of my favorites, but I just love that.
And nowadays with technology, it's doable whether you're a small business, a mid-market business, a large business. There are ways to make all of this work very well for you. And the best hope is that you get to the point where now we have to manage success. Success is a good thing. Success is a good thing,
and knowledge is a good thing. And speaking of that, I'm so happy you were able to join us today, Barbara, and share your knowledge. I'm a big fan of people that share, and the Canada Post does so many good things that just people are not aware of. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Jade. It's been a pleasure, and I wish everybody huge success out there.
Oh, very kind words. Thank you. Well, that's a wrap for today. My name is Jade Alberts. I'm a business strategist here in Calgary that can help rejuvenate, re-energize your business, and make your life a lot better. If you have any questions, please leave them on the Facebook page here, or email me on any of my social media outlets. And until next week, have a great day. Take care.